Okay, welcome back to another episode of Up and Down with Sam. I am your host, Sam Timmer, and today I have a special co host, Jeff Timmer, also my dad. So happy to have you.
Thank you, Sam. I like the upgrade. You got the little mic going today.
Yeah, yeah. I had some investors over the weekend, so that was good.
That's great.
Um, just a quick intro on our guest here. Uh, Dr. Timmer, we should say, is a professor of exercise science at Keene State College in New Hampshire, which is my hometown. He coaches both men's and women's golf at Keene State, which are programs that recently started up. The women's team actually just won their first conference championship, so congrats to them. Um, he played 3 varsity sports in college at Calvin University, including golf, baseball, basketball. He won multiple honors in all of those, all MIAA honors. And he also held the scoring average record in golf for 9 years. So a good little career there. He knows a little ball. We're going to test him moving forward in this episode. But
Clarify, I wasn't all MIAA in basketball. Only played that for 2 years, but
right,
the other
right.
the other two.
Yeah. Um, so we're going to hop right into the buzzer beaters. We're going to start with a little basketball. Duke takes down number one Michigan, earns that top spot in the country, bumping Michigan to third. So quick reactions on that game. I'm sure you watched it.
It was a great game. I mean, ultimately expected to be what it was, and that's defensive efficiency number one versus defense efficiency number two. And it was a great defensive game if you like watching defense. Um, so, as expected, great game. Not as high scoring as Michigan would like. And I think the next time they play, I think Michigan's going to try to push the tempo, get the score up a little bit.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I thought that Michigan kind of let Duke control the pace of the game and let them play in the half court and get set, which I think worked against them. As you know, the Michigan team has so many weapons. I thought they needed to get out and going. I also thought the guards really didn't play well. And plus, Mara got in foul trouble early. So you just had some things that I didn't think went well. Like I really didn't think it was a good performance on Michigan's half. But credit to Duke. I mean, they, like you said, they got in the game they wanted to play and they dominated. So it was a good game.
Yeah, defensively, Duke was great. Michigan, clearly, their closest games are when they don't shoot the three very well,
Right.
right? And they were five for what, 20 something or six for 25.
Yeah.
So, that's just the way it's going to go for Michigan. If they can make a few threes, I think they win that game, to be honest. I mean, Elliot Cadeau, I mean, I don't know what he was, but he didn't make many.
Terrible.
I think one for
Yeah.
something, but so that hurt. But again, Duke's defense was on point. They played the in the paint defense better than anybody that Michigan has seen so far, and I think that
Hmm.
that got to Michigan a little bit because they didn't get as many easy baskets as they're accustomed to be honest.
Right. Yeah. I also thought, I honestly thought Yaxel played pretty good. He had a good performance as the star guy. But looking forward to March Madness, Michigan's going to have to figure out how to have 6 games in a row, which they've done, where they shoot well. And I think if they do that, they won't be beaten, to be honest. So,
Yeah, I looked at their game statistics, and realistically, I mean, every time they score 80 points or better, they shoot the ball well, right? We're going to talk about Calvin coming up. I have some really good information on that too. But shooting does matter, but at the same time, I hope that Dusty May has a better idea of how Duke would play them defensively,
hmm
because he really shut down that pick and roll by collapsing, and they did a nice job. I thought Duke had a nice game plan. So
yeah, we'll battle the coaches there too.
yeah,
Moving forward, second buzzer beater, Justin Thomas set to make his return to the Arnold Palmer Invitational. I'm pumped. JT's my guy. We've been through it all, thick and thin. So I'm super excited for him to be back for the Florida Swing. And our Calvin golf team is actually going to be at the Players Championship. So I'm excited to get to watch him, that he's back healthy, and hopefully playing some good golf.
yeah. I mean, PGA Tour, we love having stars, right? And so Justin
Hmm.
Thomas is one of those guys. We need him back. He was great on TGL last night. I don't know if you watched that, but
Hmm.
just a fun character and a great golfer. So I think the PGA Tour continues to be on the up and up.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. And then finally, our last buzzer beater of the week that's kind of going to lead us into a couple other segments was the USA men's and women's hockey team both take home the gold in the Olympics. Pretty impressive showing, really, from both teams. The girls' team was much more dominant, or the women's team was much more dominant, and the men's team, they squeaked it out, you could say. And so that's
Yeah.
going to move us into my overtime, which is Connor Hellebuck with the greatest save in hockey history. That stick save was unbelievable and one of the greatest performances of all time. 41 saves against, you could argue, by far the best forwards and just overall team on paper. You got Connor McDavid, Celebrini's on there, Sam Bennett, Reinhart, McKinnon, Marner, and then Makar on defense. I mean, this team, this Canada team, was so dominant and so good on paper. And really, Connor was the equalizer in a sense for the USA team.
I 100% agree. The stick save, it was an incredible save. There's a little bit of luck in that one, right? It
Wow.
somehow careens off to the side, but outstanding to even get your stick on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was a great play. Um, I I got the men's hockey coach here at Keene State to give me a little information through the AI. You know how hockey has AI.
Mm-hmm.
And with everything being said, Canada had an 85 to 15% chance of winning that game. The goal should have been 4.5 to 2.5.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the Hellebuck effect, right? Canada was supposed to score 4.5 goals that game, according to AI, and they ended up with one.
Yeah.
And so you can't overstate that too much. What a game he played. Um, Obviously reminiscent of the Lake Placid team, where the
Right.
goalie just had an incredible game against the Russians. But Canada had some mistakes. They missed some open nets, to be honest.
Yeah. Talking about an open net, McKinnon, my goodness. That poor guy is going to have nightmares about that shot forever. I
That's a
mean,
tough one. He's one of the best scorers, right, in the NHL, and
oh, yeah.
I mean, just flat whiffed on the net. You can call it the Olympic effect. You can call it Hellebuck hurried him because he's been playing great. But yeah, that was a tough one. So
Yeah. And I think there's something to be said, too. A little bit of Canada kept, when you watch the game, U.S. comes out strong, right? They score a gritty goal. And then all of a sudden, Canada kind of finds their stride. And completely, they talk about tilting the ice. I mean,
yeah,
the ice was tilted for probably 50 straight minutes for Canada. I mean, they were just dominating. And I think when you get in that mode of dominating and you feel like, man, we should be winning, man, we should be winning. Oh, USA with another penalty kill. Oh, like all this stuff, all these crazy saves. I think it tightens you up a little bit, right? Like I don't think McKinnon misses that. I think he gets that shot 100 times. He makes it 98%, 99%. Like he does not miss that. And I just think the tightness of the game that Canada had to play with, just due to the grit. I mean, you also look at the goal that Charlie McAvoy saved, my Boston Bruin. I mean, that
yeah,
thing, that was almost in. And he just was like, all
yeah.
right, I'm going to chuck my
Swatted it
body.
away.
Yep. Swats it away and then kneels down and he's like, I'm ready to take a shot in the face for this team. And I think that really, those two plays, those two saves, plus the gritty goal, I just think it really was representative of how the United States was going to win that game, and just how they were as a team. So, congrats to them. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah. Just one other thing. I think the most least talked about, underrated play of the entire game is the first goal.
Right.
I
I
mean,
totally agree.
where he lifts the puck twice
Yeah,
and
he's just
then skates
bobbling it.
by the defense. I mean, go try that at home, people. That's
Yeah.
just ridiculous hockey right there. So I think that's very under talked about, underappreciated, I would say.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that was on Makar, who's considered like the best defenseman in the entire NHL. So
It was
it was just
crazy.
Grit is
Yeah.
what it was. And so moving into our Shanks and Stripes for the week, you got to give a stripe to, I put in USA hockey as a whole across the America, because you get inspired by the win. It meant a lot to obviously the players who were out there. It also meant a lot to a lot of the younger players. We saw some videos, some Instagram reels of, there was this one junior game, and all of a sudden one of the parents yells USA goal, and they all go crazy, and like all these kids are like, what happened? And then they finally hear that USA won, and they all celebrate together. Like, I just think it meant so much for hockey in the United States, and so that's what I'm giving our first stripe of the week to.
Yeah. And again, second wave, right? I mean, when you interview all these players from US, what do they talk about? They get into hockey because of what? The miracle at Lake Placid, right?
Right.
So this becomes the second wave of USA hockey that has that same experience through the Olympics. And I think you're right. I think it's going to bolster kids in this country to keep getting after it.
Yeah. I mean, you put a mic in front of those Hughes brothers, and I mean, I'm ready to gear up and go skate. I'm fired up.
Plus, they're Michigan grads, right?
Oh yeah, they're a Michigan family.
Right,
actually, all four players on the ice are Michiganders when they scored the winning goal.
Yeah.
And speaking on that other side of the coin there, Canada hockey, because, like, that is Canada. Like, that is what they hang their hat on, and now they got to wait 4 more years. Like, oh, that has just got to be brutal. As well as Connor McDavid with a major shank of the week. When you look at Connor McDavid, he could be considered the best skill-wise hockey player of all time. Like, this guy is ridiculous. We were talking about watching the game. He's the only guy that like gets his jersey flapping in the wind. Like, it's unbelievable. He's like flying, right? And he has every skill you can imagine. And then you look at his resume, and he comes up short in 2024 against the Panthers, comes up short again, wins the Conn Smythe trophy, but doesn't win the actual Stanley Cup, and then comes to the Olympics. He comes in with an A on his chest. Sidney Crosby goes down. He gets upgraded to the C, and people are like, "Oh, this is the passing of the torch. This is the moment, right?" And all of a sudden, he lets another game, another championship, best on best game lose, and he wins the MVP of the tournament, which I'll speak on that in a second. But you just look at his resume and you just wonder how he can't. I know it's a team sport, but he's the guy. Like, how can you not win those games? You got to win those games.
Yeah, and I think, hockey is, again, one of those sports where you probably can do everything you can to take out their best player, right? I mean, there's certain sports you can't take out the best player. Hockey, I think you can put a lot of focus on one player. I think Connor McDavid gets that a lot. Even with this Canada team that's so great, I think there was a lot of attention on McDavid. Back to your previous, though, you didn't get to see Wayne Gretzky when you talk about the most skillful hockey player.
Go.
I know, but we can't go without saying Wayne Gretzky. McDavid, by far the fastest hockey player I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, the speed at which that guy skates at is, I bet you he could win some Olympic speed skating. It's crazy. But I agree a little bit, but, you want your big players to make big plays, but sometimes the other team isn't going to allow that to happen. And I think you saw it. I think you saw a little bit more attention on McDavid. I mean, McKinnon gets a wide open net, and these what's his name? Celebrini had like
Celebrini, yeah.
He had like 3 point blank shots. Why? I think there's a little more focus on McDavid, to be honest. So it's tough.
Yeah, but with amazing talent comes amazing expectations. Yeah. I saw a post relating him to Josh Allen, and I think that is so on point, right? Like, Josh Allen's like, oh, who would you want as your quarterback? Well, Josh Allen, he's got everything, right? And he just can't get the big one. So I think that's a fair comparison, and so I think that's a major shank. I really do. With the C on his chest, Canada at his back, I just think, not that he let them down, but just the result just is going to smear a little bit
Yeah.
for a while.
The other shank you're
Um,
not talking about is the women's Canadian hockey. I think, to be honest, they did a poor job of inserting youth. That was the oldest team in the Olympics by far. And I think America's youth, the speed was much better. And I think that's why USA women's hockey was better. So I think Canada women's hockey is going to have to start playing some younger people to compete. So
yeah, I like it. And I mean, same thing. U.S. women's hockey is women hockey in America is going to be growing after that. That was fun. It was
yeah,
utter domination the whole tournament.
domination. Yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty cool. And talking about youth, Jacob Bridgman this week on the PGA Tour gets his first win at the age of 26, wins the Genesis Open, which is a featured event. He actually says in his post round press conference that he couldn't feel his hands for the last 3 holes. He literally said he was hitting putts just to hope they got up there by the hole and then go make a short one, which is just, as a golfer, I mean, that is just so scary. Like, I totally know how he feels of like, oh man, I can't feel my hands.
It might be scary, but it's so real for every competitive golfer out there. I mean, there is nothing more real than that.
100%.
You know, even in college, like you don't exactly know where you sit because everybody is on the course and you don't have leaderboards. But you know, you kind of know, right? You know, and then all of a sudden it's like, woo, those hands, they get numb. So I thought it was a great post round interview. Really speaks to the mental side of competitive golf for sure.
Oh, for sure. I mean, the first time I won a tournament, I think part of I just played a good round and didn't really realize that I was up there. So that helped. And then of course I got to go to a playoff. I'm standing on that first playoff hole, and I mean, I couldn't feel anything. Like I couldn't feel my legs, nothing. And I lucked out because I was able to actually get up and down on that. But totally understand that feeling of just not feeling anything. And you know, he dominates the whole week, and he goes into the last day and he makes 2 birdies right off the jump, and then it's like, oh boy, hold on. The whole time. Hold on.
Yeah.
Finishes +1.
Kind of like Hideki hitting it everywhere the week before, but Bridgman came up with the victory. So.
Yeah, that Hideki. We talked about that. Oh yeah.
Competitive golf.
It's a different beast. So props to him.
I mean, he was the ACC Player of the Year a couple times too. So I mean,
he's been there.
It's not crazy. It's not crazy that he came up with a win, but good for him. I think it's awesome.
Right, 100%. Again, the PGA Tour seems to be winning because you get young guys, young talent, winning big tournaments. You know, you had a stacked leaderboard again. I mean, Rory's up there. I think it was, who was it that shot like 7 under to jump to second? I'm gonna look this up. Give me a second, folks. I should have been prepared, but
I know I should know who it was too.
It was Kitayama, Kurt Kitayama. Shoots 7 under to jump to second.
Another young guy that's playing really good.
Yeah, you just get views from those types of things. So pretty cool week there for him. And then on the other side of that coin, sticking with golf, I'm giving Scotty Scheffler the shank of the week in terms of golf. I know you're going to defend him, but let me tell you, his top 10 streak dies at 18. He finishes T11. His first rounds over the last 3 weeks, he shot +7. Rest of the week, he's been -42. And so I know that, you know, oh, wow, that's so impressive. Like, he's constantly in the top 10 with those awful starts. But I'm going to look and say maybe his tough starts are going to hold him back from a super successful year that he's looking for this year. Are they going to hold him to 3 wins instead of, 6, right? Because of those tough starts. And I'm gonna give him a shank.
let's go back to something you said. You just said that 3 wins is a bad year. Do you know how many PGA Tour
Correct.
golfers?
No,
You know how
correct.
many
100%.
three wins is an outstanding year, especially if one's a major. And by the way, he already has 1 win. Don't forget.
That's fine. I'm
Yeah,
fine with
so
that. I'm
I
just
get it. Here's my opinion, and this is just strictly an opinion. I actually think Scotty Scheffler is trying things to get ready for majors. I know that sounds crazy, but I think he's trying to hit driver in places he doesn't normally hit driver because he's trying to figure it out for a couple of the venues that are coming up, and we'll talk about that later. But I really think Scotty Scheffler is trying to do different things to see where he's at golf game wise. And then, he's like, ah, crap, I should probably play normal. And then, he lights it up the last 3 rounds and you have
I
it.
don't know. I'm not giving him the benefit of the doubt.
I am.
You talk about 3 wins, but we're talking about a guy who's getting compared to the all-time greats. Tiger Woods, a guy who's chasing legacy, chasing maybe the potential best player ever.
Did Tiger Woods ever finish top 10 18 times in a row?
No, he didn't. He stopped at 11.
He stopped at 11. Let that sink in. Tiger Woods only had 11.
Yeah, and Scotty's going to lose all his streaks if he keeps playing like trash in the first round. So he better turn it around. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not worried about Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, well, there's some critics. There's some critics out there.
Which is crazy to me. So, but
got to come out ready to play. It's kind of like the Bengals. Nick Taylor or Zach Taylor never has the guys ready to play week 1. They got to start 0-3 before they start playing. That's what I'm going with, Bengals.
But he's already won.
Well, yeah, but I'm ignoring that piece. Moving into, you brought it up, the majors for this year.
All right.
Our moving day is gonna be our make picks, as always, and we're gonna pick the 4 majors for the year plus a little bonus with the Players Championship coming up. So I'm gonna start with you. What do you got for us?
All right. So the Masters. I'm starting with the Masters. Are we going to go back and forth with the
Yeah, we'll go. We'll each go. Yeah.
So Masters being the first tournament of the year, this is what I got, and this is because of history, and I think it's his turn. All right. I think Scheffler, he's going to be probably pretty close. All right. But I feel like it's Justin Rose's year.
Wow.
He tied with Rory last year, lost in a playoff. He's always at the top of the Masters leaderboard. I feel like this is finally the year that Justin Rose breaks through. I think he's hitting the ball outstanding right now. If he can get the putter going at all, I think he's going to win the Masters.
Wow. I didn't see that one coming, to be honest. So everyone knows the Masters, Augusta National. You got to be able to putt the rock. I'm looking at a guy named Sam Burns, and let me tell you why. Put your head down. That's terrible. Although he's had some struggles at Augusta, he's missed cuts in 2022 and 2024. But I really think you look at a guy who was in the position last year to win a major, and I'll say it, a terrible ruling really screwed him over with that wet lie. He should have got relief from that, gets hosed, right, and ends up losing to J.J. Spawn. And I think it's time for him to break through. It's time for him to get one, and I think the best suited for his game is the Masters, even though he hasn't performed well. I couldn't tell you why he hasn't performed well. I think it's because he stays in the same house as Scotty. That's a lot of pressure. Maybe he should try renting out his own house this year, but I think he gets one done. He's, I would say, the best putter on tour. Look for him to roll the rock come April.
Let me tell you why Sam Burns won't win. Sam Burns cannot hit irons well enough to get it in that 10-foot circle that you need on Sunday at the Masters. So he can be the best putter in the world, but when you're 30 feet, you ain't making any. He's just not that good of an iron player to win at the Masters. So that's why he struggles there.
Taking shots at my boy Sam Burns. Moving forward, PGA Championship. Who you got?
All right. So this is a newer course to the circuit, right? 50 something. but it's a Donald Ross. Scotty Scheffler does not play well on Donald Ross courses because he's not a great putter either. All right, so he's out. What I got here is a great iron player who's been playing well. I think he's going to come to play in the PGA Championship, and that's Colin Morikawa.
Wow.
That's my pick.
Colin Morikawa gets back on the major train. I don't know how I feel about that one.
He loves Donald Ross.
I'll tell you one thing. Before I give my pick, Donald Ross, we could bulldoze every one of his courses. I'd be happy. I am not a Donald Ross guy. He loves to not. He always par 70. Well, you don't make birdies on my courses, and he makes the greens impossible. And he pretty much makes you want to quit after you snap all your wedges along with your putter. So not a big Donald Ross guy. So I'm probably going to be mad watching this. But I'm going with Tommy Fleetwood. I think another guy who kind of breaks through at the end there last year, wins the Tour Championship, and week in, week out, he's really been playing some good golf. I think, I know it's Donald Ross, but the PGA doesn't set it up impossible, right? And so I think it fits his game a little bit where you got to play everything good. Like everything really good has to be going in your game. Irons, T-ball, like the whole deal. And so I just think he's so solid, and he's got to get a major soon because the guy can play. He's a stud. So I'm going with Tommy Fleetwood.
I'll come back to Tommy Fleetwood, but one thing, Donald Ross prefers a fade. Unfortunately, Tommy Fleetwood hits a draw. So,
well,
I don't know if that's a good match or not. We'll see.
Maybe Tommy will agree with me. Let's bulldoze him. But moving forward, we got the U.S. Open at Shinnecock. Who you got?
So, I think you were right on with the breakthrough. I just think you have it one tournament too soon. Shinnecock is the perfect course for Tommy Fleetwood. He finished second to Brooks Koepka at the last major at Shinnecock Hills. It's a link-style course. If the wind is blowing, if the rain is happening, Tommy Fleetwood is the guy at Shinnecock. I think that's the course. So I think Tommy Fleetwood is my pick.
Okay, so we're on the same level. Tommy's gonna get one this year.
Yeah.
I got to go with Scotty. He hasn't been mentioned yet, which is probably not cool. I mean, I just gave him a hard time, but he's leaps and bounds the best player in the world. I think he gets the U.S. Open. I think he completes the career Grand Slam. I think we had one last year, and it's going to be historic to have them back-to-back years where two guys complete it. With Rory last year, Scotty this year. I think that's the headline of the year is Scotty completes Grand Slam. So I'm going with Scotty there. I think,
like
if he's
the historical value there.
Yeah, if he's ever prepared for a tournament, it's going to be this one. He's ready to go. And go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Last one, the Open.
The Open. We got Royal Birkdale. I'm going to start this time because I feel I'm excited about this pick. I'm going Chris Gotterup. You look at a guy, I know, I saw your face. You look at a guy, came T3 last year at the Open Championship at Royal Portrush, and he won that previous week at the Genesis Scottish Open. And I think the week before that, he was also playing overseas. Like, this guy loves playing overseas. He plays well overseas. I think he's one of those young guys who's going to get it going. He hits that absolutely blazing fade, which is so fun to watch. So I think his game is suited well to play in the Open. I think if he's going to win a major, that's going to be the one that he wins. So I'm going with Chris.
So I do like that pick. Again, I think you got him switched. I think Gotterup is set up perfectly for Shinnecock. If he's going to get his major win, it's going to be at Shinnecock.
I don't know.
Royal Birkdale. Royal Birkdale is, kind of one of those courses where it's like dogleg right, S-curve, dogleg left. I think you got to be precise. And that's why I'm going with my man, Scotty Scheffler, for Royal Birkdale. I think Royal Birkdale sets up absolutely perfectly for Scheffler. Distance control, flatter greens. Shinnecock is all sorts of nasty greens and runoff areas. I don't see too many people surviving Shinnecock with the way they set it up. But I see Scotty Scheffler at Royal Birkdale coming away. I like the historical U.S. Open, but Shinnecock is not, I don't think, the venue where Scotty wins.
Okay. So we both got Scotty winning one, and we both got Tommy winning one. So that'll be interesting to see how those pan out. And then I'm going to give you a bonus pick. I don't know how I feel about your pick so far, but I'm going to give you a bonus one. The Players' Championship, part of this Florida swing that's coming up. Like I said, we're going to be there Friday, so I felt like I wanted to say one for here, and I'm just going to keep it rolling. I think Scotty gets it done. I don't know. I thought about it, but it's like, how can you not pick him? I mean, he's won there back-to-back years. Last year didn't win. He won in 23 and 24. I mean, he's the best player in the world by far. I'm hoping JT wins, but I just don't. I wanted to pick JT for one of these, but just with the injury, I don't know how he's going to come back. So that made it tough. So I'm going with Scotty.
So again, TPC Sawgrass, great precision golf course, flatter greens. It's definitely set up for Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, if he's not in the top 5, I'd be like shocked off my rocker at TPC Sawgrass. So, I think we're on the right track there. I think Scotty is going to get that back. I think he wants it back too. So
yeah, I think he just likes it. I think he likes it there, and you know, the fame of the course, the famous 17th hole. So I like him there. I think he gets it done. Staying with golf, we're moving into the Calvin corner, and boy, do I have a report for you. Calvin men's golf team reportedly walked the stairs of the basketball arena with their golf bags on yesterday as the men's basketball team stopped practice to watch. They watched, had some comments for us. Coach Saul had a couple zingers in there. So that's the report on the street. I can't confirm nor deny, but man, that's something. Golf bags and all.
Listen, nobody believes, but endurance is part of competitive golf. You may question the actual exercise there, but when you add weight, you got to get used to walking up hills. Every golf course has its own hills, so it's part of golf.
Listen. The funniest part about the report is that the men's basketball team stopped practice before a playoff game to watch. The boys were chuckling. They enjoyed it. Then I get in the training room, or a golfer gets in the training room, and all the trainers are like, "Hey, heard about your walking around the arena." I'm like, "Oh, nice." So that was funny.
There's something to be said for being the talk of campus.
Oh yeah, listen, we're building a reputation.
That's right.
But good little joke there. Just a kind of funny story. And then speaking of basketball, we're going with Calvin men's basketball completes the sweep of hope on Saturday. We had the special episode, the rivalry episode. Jalen has 28. Trevin has 24. As I predicted, he was a huge player for them on Saturday. Luka hits 4 big threes for the boys, so he was the three-point shooter. They all played well, really. There's not much else to say. We dominate Hope. We continue to dominate Hope. We brought out the brooms. We were sweeping down the court. A lot of fans weren't happy about that, especially in the orange and blue, but we appreciated it. It was fun, and it was a good time.
I'm going to give you the story of the year for Calvin men's basketball.
All right, let's hear it.
Or stat of the year.
Stat. We're going with stat of the year.
25 games. They've played 25 games. When they shoot over 30% from 3, they score 80 plus. Pretty much unbeatable.
Yep.
Right? They've won every game where they've shot over 30% from 3, scored more than 80 points, except there's one exception. One exception was Mount Union.
Okay.
Do we all know why? Because Mount Union scored 19 more points at the free throw line in Ohio. Big shocker there, right?
I was about to say, we got hosed. Classic Ohio scum.
So, ultimately, if you looked at the season, when Calvin shoots 30+%, not only are they unbeatable, but they score more than 80 points. And against Hope, they've done it twice. right? And
Yeah.
so, if you can keep that going, I mean, the trend is pretty good, right? We
Hmm.
got Albion at 44%, Kalamazoo at 42%. The lone one was Olivet. That was a loss,
Yep.
28%. Then Trine was 40%. Alma was
Yeah.
33%. Hope was 45%. The trend is really good. So if they can continue, I think there's some great success heading Calvin's way.
Hmm. And speaking a little further on that point, I think the shooting is so contagious for them. I mean, you watch them, and Trevin usually gets it going because he's not afraid to come out and just start firing early. And then like Luca, if Luca gets one to go in, night, he makes the next four. It's unbelievable. But if he misses that first one, he won't shoot another one. And so I think I would like to put it on that first 5 to 10 minutes. Can they get going early? Can they see someone make a shot? It doesn't even have to be themselves. It has to be someone else, or just
Yeah.
as a team to throw one in. And so they got Adrian in the first round of the playoffs, and then Hope got the bye, so they would go and play Hope again. Tough to beat a good team 3 times, but again, we dominate the rivalry, so I feel pretty good about that. And then you would see Olivet are probably trying in the championship, and then it's time to go get a big win and go dancing in March.
So all the viewers out there, just watch the shooting percentage from three. You can
Yeah.
almost check it off on the thing. If they shoot 30%, they win. If they don't from three, they might have a struggle. They've won some games not shooting 30%, but they haven't been pretty.
Yeah.
They had some close games with like Albion and close game with some other teams early on in the year that they didn't shoot 30%. So,
Yeah.
but that's the key
Yeah.
stat of the year.
And sticking with those Calvin Knights, some big news on campus. Construction has officially started on the new football stadium. The road is closed down. Some students are upset about that, but which is kind of lame. But anyway, construction has started. The road's closed. We're breaking ground. The field and the lights have been up, so that they can practice and stuff. And this previous year, for those who don't know, they played in the soccer stadium, which is better than most other D3 football stadiums. But here at Calvin, we do excellence and we perform in excellence. So that's super exciting news for the football guys. They're all fired up. I think athletes, campus life in general, it's going to be really cool. We're excited for it. So just some exciting stuff there.
Yeah, great time in Calvin history right there.
Yeah. And as you look into the expansion of athletics, you got to talk about NIL, and that's going to be a we need a mulligan for the week. We're going to discuss if you could go back and redo NIL and how it was presented, how it has changed the landscape of college sports. I mean, you played at a time when there was no NIL, and you now coach in a time where there is NIL, as well as being a fan of college sports in general. What would you have done if you were in charge? Would it have changed? Would there even be NIL? And how would you have gone about that?
So I understand NIL from a player's point that, some of these big universities can make money off of them, right? I understand that. Here's my two things that I would do different. All right. First of all, there has to be a cap. Every professional sport has a cap. This is ultimately now it's professional sport. So we
Mm-hmm.
have to have a cap. You can't allow, the Michigans and the Ohio States and all of these major universities to basically outbid other people because they can just give as much money as they want.
Right.
I don't think that's a recipe for success. So I think there has to be a cap. And the other thing, number two, is you can't allow kids to transfer and play the next year. It's been a rule since the beginning of the NCAA. COVID changed it. It's a problem. You can't allow these kids to switch every single year. It just
Mm-hmm.
creates havoc. I mean, I was watching women's basketball yesterday, and it was who was it? Notre Dame versus SMU. All right, SMU didn't have a single basketball player back from the last year's roster. They had 15
Yeah.
new girls. I don't think that's NCAA. And so those are my two things. It's
Yep.
impossible.
As I agree with you on the cap thing, I think that's a good implementation. As I look at it as an athlete, a current athlete, I mean, it's safe to tell the viewers I do not make any NIL money at all. Um, we don't pay, mid-tier golfers over here at Calvin. But when you look at it in the landscape of college sports, I'm going with the schools shouldn't be involved. And what I mean by that is we now have schools that are directly paying these players, right? And they can throw it under whatever sponsorship or whatever, fan decided to give that player
Foundation.
money, and whatever billionaire decided to give that player money to come, right? You look at a guy like Bryce Underwood. I mean, we're Michigan fans. You look at Dave Portnoy and, the billionaire, whatever, I forget his name right now, but that just combined money. And we're like, here's a check for whatever it is, 20 million. And so I don't think that should be a part of it. I think the money needs to come at the player's effort. And so as a player, right, if I want to go out and say, I'm Cooper Flag and I want to go get a sponsorship with Gatorade, awesome. Gatorade's going to pay him. Duke isn't involved at all, right? Duke doesn't bring in Gatorade. Duke doesn't set it up. Duke doesn't just ask Gatorade for money to give to Cooper Flag, right? And same goes for like let's say Nike or what. It can even be a small local company. Like, we're in Grand Rapids. You talk about like a place like maybe Anna's House. It's a breakfast place. Maybe they want to sponsor, maybe they want to have Jalen Overway do a commercial for them, right? But I think it needs to be truly with that name, image, and likeness, and it has to be motivated from the player. Like the schools can't be the ones that are dealing out this money, and at the end of practice, they're like, "Hey, Cooper, take one picture with this person, and we'll give you 10 mil on the year just because we want you here at Duke," right? I don't think that's how it was meant to be. I don't think that's how it should be. If you're famous enough off your name, image, or likeness to make money from a company for company purposes with a commercial, etc., that's how it should be. And I just don't think the school should be involved.
I thought about that. And I thought for a while because that was going to be my response initially. And then, I get back to the problem. And the problem is let's just say that Jordan is the sponsor of Michigan. Okay. And so now you have an athlete that wants to come to Michigan. And now Jordan says, yeah, I'll pay this athlete $6 million from Jordan to play at Michigan. Do you know what I mean? Like, it becomes a really hard thing to separate because these schools are getting so much money from these sponsors. So,
Right.
even Gatorade and Jordan and Nike and Adidas, they're getting so much money that they're going to have their, little clause in to the players if you allow just the companies to be a part of that. So it's a hard thing. It's no question. It's a hard thing.
Yeah. And I just think the whole, another one, Texas Tech, right? They just get that oil money. They build this huge, like, I forget what they call it, but it's just like this huge bank account pretty much where they can just pay. Like they have the top paid defense this year for college football. And I don't think the athletics the athletic department, people within athletics should be in charge or associated with that money. I think it should be up to the players. Like if I want to go get Titleist to sponsor me, like good on me, right? But my coach in the athletic department at Calvin shouldn't be in charge of getting people to pay me.
But
So yeah,
that's why you have a cap.
right.
You can't
Cap is good.
You got to have a cap. It's
I like the
professional
cap.
sport. You got to put a cap on professional sport. My one other unintended consequence of all of this, which really hurts me, because I think the unintended consequences is that freshmen are taking the brunt of problems. So when you have all these people switching, what ends up happening is that the number of freshmen on your team is far lower than any other previous years in NCAA history. And so we have all these freshmen, and what are they doing? Are they hanging out redshirt? Are they trying to walk their way on the teams? Are they moving to Division II? Are they moving to Division III? I think it really has set up a really bad scenario for the high school athlete in Division One sport. I
Right.
mean, it really does hurt the depth of that freshman class, and so I don't like that part of it. That's my least favorite part of the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. I think something's got to change. That when it comes down to it, something's got to change. It's a disaster. And so speaking on, a little bit of football in there we talked about, I'm going to go Pack on the go. This is probably my favorite segment because I'm such a big Packer fan. And we got some big news in Packerland over the last 2 weeks since we talked about this. Special teams coordinator Rich Bisaccia has stepped down. Quote, he felt like he let Matt LaFleur down. I will tell you who he let down. He let down me. He let down the ownership, which is also me, the fans, the players. I mean, what a disaster. I'm sick of watching Packer special teams. I think this had to be done. Honestly, I was ready to protest a little bit. I was not going to watch any of the punts or kicks because if he was brought back, I mean, what a mess. And it fires me up, and I'm glad he took that responsibility on himself, stepped down, because I don't think Matt LaFleur had the you could say the kahunas to do it. So I'm glad that's a done deal, and we're looking forward.
Yeah, I mean, special teams has been a problem. Believe it or not, like we finished, I don't know what it was, like 25th in special team rating, but our punt was 4th because we have a really good punter.
He's a stud. Dan Whelan, shout out.
We were 4th in the league in punting and still finished something like 26 or 27th in the league.
It's ridiculous.
In special teams. And I don't quite understand it, to be honest with you. I mean, I know we're going to talk about it here with the.
I got a theory.
Yeah, go
Don't
ahead
spill
with
my
your
theory.
And
then... All right, this is my theory. This is like I completely thought of this on my own one day. So since 2020, I'm calling this the Sean McVay theory. Okay, the Sean McVay special teams theory. Since 2020, the Packers-Rams have lost expected points. Expected points lost. This is the stat. The Rams have lost 169.68 points, and the Packers have lost 165.81 expected points lost off special teams.
I want to throw the 49ers in there too, Shanahan.
Well, I know. I was getting there. Shanahan is a part of this tree as well, and the 49ers have been horrid as well. So you could easily point to those 3 teams as the 3 worst teams in terms of special teams when you look back over these coaching careers. And so my theory is that because these offenses are so complex, right? Like the Packers are running out 4 tight ends. You don't even know who the 4th one is, but he's out there, right? And you got to take up one of those 53 roster spots for that. The Packers played like 7 or 8 receivers. We had 4 tight ends. We had 3 running backs. Like we have all these position guys for our offense, the complex McVay, LaFleur, Shanahan offense, which is phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. But because you have to take up so many roster spots with those guys, I think you lose roster spots for special teams guys. And what team I look to that does this so well is the Patriots. Right, I grew up watching Slater and McCourty's brothers like being the best gunners in the league. And you're just sitting there and you're like, how does Slater even get a job, right? But he is a special team specialist. And I really think that the Packers don't have any of those other than punter, kicker, long snapper, right? Like those are the only 3 special teams positions we have. And so all of a sudden, you look out on the kickoff and Javon Bullard's out there. He's our starting nickelback, and Xavier McKinney's making a tackle on the kickoff crew. And I'm sitting there like, what is going on? This guy's getting paid $30 million a year, and he's out there tackling on kickoffs. Like, what are we doing? And the more I thought about it, the more I think is we spend extra roster spots due to the scheme of the offense, which doesn't allow for special teams to bolster at all. And in turn, you have a terrible special teams. What do you think?
It's not a bad theory. All right. I don't mind the theory, but realistically, the thing is you have 3 full-time special teams guys, the long snapper, the punter, the kicker. Right. After that, right, every player that plays on special teams are backups. All right. So they're going to have to back up somebody. All right. And you're not going to, like, I understand Slater and the guy they have now, I forget his name, the long haired guy for the Patriots. All right.
Yeah.
Now, they may seem like special team experts, but realistically, that's probably what they practice the most because they're fourth in the depth chart. And
Right.
so, to your point, maybe we don't practice special teams as much because those guys are learning offense and trying to figure that out. But realistically, I mean, teams don't have special teams people. They have backups. You got to find the right backup. That's my opinion. You got to find the right backup. You can't find, some guy that doesn't want to do special teams. Like, I mean, this guy from the Patriots, I mean, if you watched him, you'd think like the entire game was 4 plays on special teams, the way he plays. You got to find the right guy.
Yeah, I get that. I just think they get caught up in this offense and, we send out, if you watch a Green Bay Packers game, we'll send out a guy for a punt, right? It usually starts with like a Jaden Reed, right? And he bobbles it. Shocking, right? And the next time, who's out there? Keyshawn Nixon. Let's give him a try. Okay, here we go. He always thinks he's, the returner of the year and is going to take every single one for a touchdown. He loses us 10 yards, if not catches it inside the 10 and gets us pinned, right? And then they're like, oh, crap, now who do we got? Oh, let's send Bo Melton out there. It's like, I feel like it's a rotating door. Like, I don't even know if we practice it. Like, but I think it comes back. I'm going with it comes back to the offensive scheme and how complex it is. And then, chuck out Savion Williams. Poor guy's a rookie. It's like, here, have you ever caught a punt once? Yeah, I think in high school the coach made me do it because I was the only guy who could catch one. Okay, perfect. Go out there. Fumble. It's like, it's unbelievable. I can't even watch it.
So I agree there's some coaching problems with continually rotating the guys out there. I think that's a problem. I agree with that. But, I still think scheme-wise, Packers aren't that much different than other teams. It's just the guys aren't performing. I mean, I told you this before, but that onside kick from the Bears, that was executed flawlessly. Flawlessly. That was exactly how you draw up special teams. And our best hands guy missed it. Like, you can't coach that. Like, there's no coaching, there's no roster. There's nothing you can do. That's your best hands guy, and he flat missed it. So at the end of the day, there's got to be some guy on the roster that takes special teams seriously and wants to make the play, because that seems to be like who the Patriots find. Some random guy that just wants to be the best special teams player ever. We don't have that guy.
They're like, who's this 10-time All-Pro player? Well, he was a gunner. But
exactly.
No, speaking of our hands guy, Romeo Doubs, we talked about this a little bit. It's sounding like he's not going to get re-signed by the Packers, which I think is the right move. And some other free agent updates. Malik Willis is listed in the NFL's. They made a list of the top free agents. He was listed as the #1 free agent. I was a little shocked by that. So then, you get on
Walker
Twitter.
Has to be Kenneth Walker.
I agree. How about George Pickens? Like, come on.
Yeah.
And then you get on Twitter, and it's like, maybe the Packers should trade Jordan Love for 2 first-round picks and sign Malik Willis. I'm like, oh, gosh, please no. But I think Malik Willis is going to end up with the Dolphins. He's going to follow Hafley. I think that's a good fit. They're moving on from Tua. And I can tell you, Quinn Ewers is not the guy for that job, so they're going to need someone.
Again, don't disagree with the Miami, but you have to understand that's a $98 million cap hit by getting rid of Tua. $98 million cap hit. You can't
it doesn't matter.
The team. You can't feel the team.
Hey, listen, it doesn't matter. He can't throw the football. You can't have a team. I mean, you put a high school quarterback out there, you got a better chance at winning.
The cap is projected to be at like $238 million. $98 million of that has to go to Tua before you get into luxury tax.
Well, that's why
I don't think you can do it.
Speaking of the Dolphins, Bradley Chubb is been released along with Tyreek Hill, and they are talking about moving on from Minkah Fitzpatrick. My Packers should go get Bradley Chubb, let me tell you. Cut Rashawn Gary. I already told you that has to be done. If we don't cut Rashawn Gary, I won't watch defense because I can't watch him bull rush. He has one move. He bull rushes. There's our $40 million guy. All he's got is a bull rush, and the guy's just standing in his way. He's terrible. Go get Bradley Chubb. Great pickup that would be. So come on, Gucci. Let's get something done.
Yeah, I mean, we have to get rid of Gary. If we had to get rid of Gary just to sign Quay Walker, we finally, we've had many conversations in our house. The Packers have never had a linebacking core that I've been excited about. This is probably the first one. I'm like so excited to have them, and if Quay leaves, I'll be so disappointed. It would be like we finally had something I've always wanted, and now we're going to give it away. So
well, good news on that front is we're looking Rasheed Walker. It sounds like he's going to walk, and so then the only other big guy that we really would sign, like if you're letting Romeo Doubs and Rasheed Walker walk, Quay's the guy to sign. So I think we're going to get that deal done. I'm excited for that. Can't go back to the Blake Martinez days. There's a shout. 8 yards down the field, leading tackler.
No offense, but what's his name from Ohio State too? Back in the day.
AJ Hawk? That's a crime. Don't take shots at my boy AJ Hawk.
AJ Hawk was the same, 5-6 yards down the field. Good job, AJ. Way to stop that hole.
But I'm excited. I think the Packers have a lot in front of them. I think they got a good year coming, but got to fix the special teams. Got to get a good coordinator here. I think this is important. It doesn't have to be a big name. Like there are times when you need a big name. This is not one of them. We need someone who actually knows what they're doing. So yeah, that wraps up Go Pack on the Go, and that wraps up our episode 4 of Up and Down with Sam. Thanks for coming on. It was fun having you.
Good talking, Sam.
Yeah, as always, it's fun to hang out with you sometimes, except some of those golf picks. I don't know how our listeners will feel about those.
I think I explained my golf picks way better than you explained yours. So I think
yeah, but mine are so much more valid. I didn't need explanation. I didn't need it. But anyway, anyway, thank you to all the listeners. I hope you enjoy it. Like, subscribe. Again, thanks for coming, and go Knights, go Packers.